Respected Chief Guest Sadhguru, Chairman Isha Foundation, Sri N. Srinivasan, Vice Chairman and MD, India Cements Chairman, Platinum Jubilee Celebration Committee, the fellow committee members Sri Srinivasan K. Swami, Chairman and MD, R.K. Swami, BBDO, Professor Dr. M. K. Surappa, the Vice Chancellor of Anna University, Professor Dr. L. Karunamurthy, the Registrar of Anna University, Professor Dr. S. Meenakshi Sundaram, the Dean, AC Tech Campus, the Director and HODs of various departments and centers, the sponsors, alumni, and all my dear friends. A hearty welcome to one and all. Today, we are all gathered here to witness the most awaited AC Tech Platinum Jubilee. On behalf of AC Tech Alumni Association, I roll out the red carpet for everyone, gratifying your esteemed presence. It keeps on shedding light forever. This implies that knowledge by means of propagation continues to flourish. Hence, let us begin our event by lighting our traditional lamp. May I now request our chief guest to grace the event by lighting the Kuthuvilakku. Dr. N. Srinivasan, Chairman, India Cements. Dr. S. Meenakshi Sundaram, Dean, AC Tech Campus. Thank you, everyone. A systematic administrator, knowledgeable individual, and a great entrepreneur. Yes, we are talking about the Chairman and MD, R.K. Swami, BBDO. I now request Sri Srinivasan K. Swami to convey the welcome address.
Our honored guest, Sadhguru, AC Tech Platinum Jubilee Celebration Chairman, Sri N. Srinivasan, other distinguished alumni, special guests, and friends. It gives me absolute honor to welcome each and every one of you to this wonderful gathering of alumni of AC Tech. We are all the children of pioneering institution called AC Tech. AC Tech has made enormous influence on our lives, and whatever we are today is because of the faculty and co-students who molded our knowledge and value systems which we still hold dear to us. My time at AC Tech is something I remember very clearly. Yes, there are names and images of teachers and students and staff. Some tinged in sepia tones, others crystal clear. Images of student center, cafeteria, hostel, all bring warm memories of friendship and the great times we spent together. I do hope that tonight we all can reignite that friendship and grow a partnership. Over the next 2 days, our Dean, Dr. Meenakshi Sundaram, and the Executive Committee of AC Tech Alumni Association have meticulously planned all the program to mark and celebrate our Platinum Jubilee in a fitting manner. I want to mention the names of Vidya, President of AC Tech Alumni Association, Ilangovan, my classmate, Anand, Gopi, Amarnath, Sharanya, and of course my own batchmates, Vardharajulu, Ramesh Babu, Chandramohan, and I'm sure many more who have toiled hard for the events. I believe all details are available in the website, and I'm sure you must have seen them. If not, contact Vidya and she'll give you a copy. But tonight is a special night, an exclusive night, For alumni members, principally, our very own distinguished alumni, Sri N. Srinivasan, Vice Chairman and Director of India Cements, and the promoter of our very own Chennai Super Kings, a general philanthropist, a trendsetter and leader in the cement industry, and one who has been of immense support to our institution over the years, is here today. Today, he'll speak about AC Tech, Path to Excellence, or something thereof. I'm sure this will be of immense interest to all of us in this alumni gathering. I'm also very privileged and happy to have with us Sadhguru, a mystic, a guru, a great thinker, a good human being, and above all, a good friend to many. I've had the pleasure of playing host to him at the inaugural International Writers Association Conversation Series, where when he engaged in interesting conversation with Push Pandey in 2014 in Bombay. Subsequently, we had him at a Silver Jubilee Summit, IAA Silver Jubilee Summit in Kochi in 2015, and again at the IAA Olive Crown Awards in 2017 in Mumbai. I've attended his Inner Engineering course program as well as in the Insight event in 2017. I personally benefited from his thinking on various issues, and I'm sure all of us will be enthralled by his address today on how to excel in every walk of our life. But let's put our hands together to welcome Mr. N. Srinivasan first to talk about his path to excellence in AC Tech. Thank you.
Good evening. I begin by offering my salutations to the revered Sadhguru who's present here today. Namaskar. Knowing how powerful a speaker he is, I've heard so many people talk in praise of his ability to communicate. Actually, I did not know that I would share the stage, the occasion, the evening with him, with such a person. It was kind of sprung on me in a sense. If I had known earlier, I'd have said, let him speak, why should I say listen? That might have been better, but anyway, there is also the opportunity to get his blessings while I stand here. "75 years is a long time. I think when we look back, this institution has not only stood the test of time, it has also flowered and grown during this period. There are so many institutions that have gone by the wayside that do not have the luster that they had when they started. They're not as bright and great. But AC College of Technology, AC Tech as we fondly call it, has grown from strength to strength. And I think for this, we must compliment not only the founding fathers, but the continuous stream of outstanding faculty that the college has had. I entered AC College in 1960, many years, a long time. I was so happy, pleased to meet alumni. Of course, they're much younger than me, 70, 76 years, 70, that. But I did meet one person who was older. It was in 1959 he passed out. In those days, of course, you had civil, electrical, mechanical. There were the 3 engineering streams available to students. chemical was new. They said we spoke chemistry to the engineer and engineering to the chemist. That is how the chemical engineer was described, because it was a new science. This was an animal not known to many people. But being students of chemical engineering gave us a feeling that we were above all the others, because this was a new discipline. I'm sure all of you must have experienced it at some point in your life, during the period that we were in college, because we were unique. And I think that distinguished us. And our classes, we had textile and leather technology students with us in the first couple of years, and after that we branched out. We were only hardly 20 people, 20, 23. So the education was intense, it was good, and everybody knew everybody. College was small. I understand now it is huge. There are 9 disciplines, and it has grown out of all proportion, out of all magnitude that we could have imagined. It was a cute campus. I believe it has the same hallmarks as it had in those days, particularly the center square. But as a college, as an alma mater, as a place where we took our first baby steps towards adulthood and knowledge, I think it was an outstanding place. I mean, our neighbor was the College of Engineering, Guindy. But there was something unique about the AC Tech, and all of us, I'm sure, cherish every moment that we spent, every time, all the time that we spent there. We had excellent, I think you ask anyone sitting here, he will say that he had good faculty. That was the common, what was the one common thread that ran through to us was the quality of the faculty. So actually some knowledge was imparted to us. We did learn, and that knowledge has stood us in good stead all through. I was asked today to talk about how to talk about excellence, the path to excellence for AC College of Technology. I was really wondering what is it that I can speak about. See, if you take education in India, it is changing, but I think possibly there are many alumni here who are living outside India now, studied outside India also. But I don't know what is it that we have missed, because if I go back, 100 years ago, Henry Ford invented the automobile. 10, 15 years later, little later, the Wright brothers started the first biplane to fly. Commercial aircraft, commercial vehicles sprung up in the US, rest of the world, etc. We imported vehicles. They had aircraft carriers, warships, warplanes, all by the 30s and 40s. We are still yet to build one. As an engineer, my regret is that collectively, all of you have studied here, some have gone abroad. When we go there in the class, there is no doubt who will be topper. It will be the guy from India. We do better than the local students when we go into graduate study. But why is it collectively that we have less Nobel Prizes, we have less innovations? I don't know. Is it the education? Is it the lack of an inquiring mind? The fact that we settle for less? I don't know. But if we are to look at excellence, if we are to look ahead, we must find a system, at least, yes, AC College was always ahead of everybody else. We must look at a system, we have to look at a system of education, a system of training, that enables you to put into practice what you're being taught, to have more practical knowledge. And I think possibly a greater connect between the academic college and the industry, possibly that is needed. If that is so, I think that is something that the current faculty, the current the management should work on. Because I think in the absence, just giving us, I'm sure I'm in a sense telling people what they know, but outside India, every summer people work, they go. So by the time he finishes his 2 years, 3 years, he's already had 1 year practical experience. That is not there in India. And I think that is possibly fundamental to the fact that we are good, but we are not application oriented in a sense. And I think that this is one area where there is a tremendous scope. India is a large manufacturing country. I think colleges like the AC Tech should try and must have programs where the students can benefit, so that when they pass out, when they finish their course and they pass out, they come out as full engineers, not just with book knowledge. I think this is very, very important, and I think this is one area, one direction in which we can go in order to improve and excel. The amount of disciplines that are there in AC Tech today, I don't think this is parallel by any other engineering institution here. I think we should build on that. We should grow. We should develop it to such an extent that they say, oh, AC Tech, the fellows will know, they are knowledgeable, they will be practical. We have to move in that direction. While I was waiting I met the dean of the college and some of the other alumni. So the idea was, what shall we do? I think it may be a good idea. See, I believe that today and tomorrow we will have a lot of alumni here. I think it would be a very good idea if they could each, in their own way, suggest what should happen. It has to, the alumni have to suggest. If the alumni are going to run it, the alumni should suggest. And I think here, I'll take an example here. When we got the franchise for Tamil Nadu for the IPL, then we were wondering what name shall we give. So we said, let us ask the fans. And from there, the Chennai Super King was born. See, everyone got involved in it, they gave name suggestions, and I think the same thing should be done here. I think the alumni should suggest the direction in which the college should go. They can give suggestions, even for that movement they should. And I welcome that, and I request the management to announce this in whatever in the fora that they decide, so that it is inclusive and college and alumni participate in what they want to do. And ultimately, you see, to excel, it is not enough that all the wherewithal is provided. I think what is most important is the will. The college has been good. The fact that so many alumni here, I'm just thrilled, it is because for an old student of the college, it is great to see so many alumni turn up for the 75th year. 75 is not small, There are very few institutions who can say that I am 75 years and going strong. I think this should be captured, and it is the fact that the chief guest of today is such an eminent person itself speaks. And tomorrow also the governor of Tamil Nadu is attending. I think this should be the starting point of a movement where we start differentiating AC College from the other colleges. We must start to think what we want to do, how do we excel, how do our future generations of students, our students who follow us, how they will benefit from the experience that we have. And I think that is important, that is what we can do. We can give back to the college for what we have gained from the college. I think collectively all of us owe a duty to suggest the ways in which the college can go forward. Lastly, before I finish, I want to thank everyone for the appreciation when given to the Chennai Super Kings. I think that's somehow, in some fashion or other, it has come to represent Chennai, and all of us are happy and glad to be part of it. I thank all of you, and I thank the college to have given me this opportunity, and I thank Sadhguru for having patiently heard me. Thank you.
You set the ball rolling. We certainly would look forward to great sessions from my colleagues here. No, we're all here to listen to Sadhguru. And Sadhguru, I can tell you, is an amazing speaker. I've heard him many times. We want to get a glimpse of what he does through this AV. Can I have the AV play, please?
In the next half hour, you're going to meet a man who has a devoted following across India and indeed around the world. While yoga and meditation are at the core of his teachings to promote individual growth, the work of the foundation covers conservation, education and health. And you'll find him astonishingly pragmatic on a range of very modern-day problems. Let's meet Sadhguru.
For the very first time in the history of humanity, we have the necessary resource, we have the necessary capability, we have the necessary technology to address every human problem on the planet. Even 25 years ago, we couldn't have dreamt of it. But the only thing that is missing is consciousness.
Today, the spotlight is on a project called Green Hands in India.
We started a mass campaign, and 6 years I spent planting trees in people's heads. That's the most difficult terrain, believe me. And now in the last 6 years, we've been transplanting it, and that's happening much more easily.
Action for Rural Rejuvenation is mainly aimed at rejuvenating the human spirit.
This is an incredible movement that is started in Tamil Nadu. We want to see that this happens to the whole country. The idea is not necessarily about developing competitive sport, but the important thing is to bring the spirit of sport and revitalizing rural societies.
ईशा आउटरीच को वर्ष 2018 के लिए राष्ट्रीय खेल प्रोत्साहन पुरस्कार से सम्मानित किया जाता है। सद्गुरु जगदीश वासुदेव, संस्थापक ईशा आउटरीच।
English and computer skills are very essential to make these children come out of the hopeless economic and social pit they are in.
If you could first tell our viewers what is the idea behind it, initiative, insight, which is more specific towards entrepreneurs.
Whatever the nature of your business, ultimately it is all about human well-being.
Isha Foundation, a non-religious, non-profit public service organisation headquartered in southern India.
We've engineered the outside world in so many ways, but we've done nothing about this one. If you want to know well-being, in is the only way out.
This is what I want to teach you too. That is, you can be completely intoxicated without any drug, just on life. This is a shift from wine to divine.
How can you love one and hate the other when the same divine exists in all? Spiritual process is not about looking up or looking down. It is about turning inward. See, the only thing that I'm really good at is just this. I can just make the air around me just crackle with energy. Adiyogi is the source of yoga, the first yoga.
Adi Yogi will inspire many generations to take up yoga. One truly remarkable thing that Sadhguru has done is, he has made yogis out of ordinary common people.
We're tracking a mammoth movement, an incredible rally starting from Kanyakumari, reaching up to the Himalayas, with the sole purpose of rejuvenating India's rivers.
Every state is responding. This is concurrence and this is wonderful.
I'm very happy that Sadhguru has taken up this cause. It should also become a people's movement for our own survival, for the survival of our children.
We are also launching another campaign called Kaveri Calling. This is 83,000 square kilometers of Kaveri Basin. We want to bring it back, at least 1/3 of it, back into some kind of green.
ಪರಿಸರ ರಕ್ಷಣೆಯ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ನೀಡೋದಿದೆ.
சத்குருஜி அவர்கள் எடுக்கின்ற முயற்சிக்கு என்னுடைய அரசு துணை நிற்கும்.
We are launching a campaign called Youth and Truth in the month of September. Youth and Truth, unplug with Sadhguru, ask whatever you want.
I want to know the truth about ambition.
Technology.
Why do we have to wear a tie or a proper dress code in our placement?
What is the meaning of competition both for individuals and society?
For every one of you, your life is precious, isn't it? This precious life, where are you going to invest it? What is it that will be worthwhile today and worthwhile after 50 years for me to invest myself into? You invest your life into that. This will be a life of fulfillment.
He has a different swag. He's kind of Buddha to us. Sadhguru has become this new friend of youth.
One important thing about Fashion for Peace is shifting back to natural fiber as much as possible. The way we dress is destroying the world. Textile has become the third largest polluter on the planet. The polyfiber, it has entered our bodies, it's entered our water, soil, our food cycle. This is not just about fashion, this is going to make millions of people's lives.
If you have to describe yourself in one word,
Would you consider wildlife as 2 words or 1 word?
President Pranab Mukherjee felicitating his Sadhguru for all his spiritual contribution.
You know, if you have to describe Sadhguru in one word, it's not possible. The amount of things he does to lift humanity, not only from poverty, but also in engineering and everything else. I give you the man today, he is going to amaze us with his speech. Sir.
Jananam sukadham maranam karunam milanam maduram smaranam karunam kalavashadiha sakalam karunam samayadipate akilam karunam. Namaskaram to everyone. Good evening. I said good evening. I thought you're not on talking terms with me already. It's wonderful to be here, to in some way… I'm not sounding like myself. Who's in charge of the sound? Where are you, please? The audio? Please, if you can control that a little bit. Hello, is that better? Yes. Okay. That is not me for sure. Hello, is that okay? No. Check. Hello? Little bit. You cut out the bass and increase the high frequency a bit. Hello? Is that good? Okay. So, to be a part of celebrating an institution which has stood by people, produced competence in the country, older than the nation itself. Fantastic to be here. Thank you very much. I think I'll pick up the ball where Srinivasan sir dropped it. Why Indians Hello, is that good? Hello? Is that okay? Yeah. So, why Indians do so well individually, but they are not great entrepreneurs as yet. Well, that's changing now. Why this has been so? There are many aspects of it, I'll just touch one or two. One thing is, we have a cultural and samskaric background which makes us intellectually competent in a certain way. You should not discount the collective learning that's happened in this culture. Being a culture which has been a civilized society for more than 10,000 years is not a small thing. The benefit of that as individuals we have derived. But also in recent times, Hello? Also in recent times, we have been an occupied nation for a period of time, for a few centuries. Because of this, we came to a certain wisdom, don't put your head up. Don't confront any problems. If you see any problem, put your head down and go home. Because those who put their head up lost their heads in an occupied nation. So we have developed this mentality that if we see a problem on the street, we put our head down and go home. Our parents always insisted, troubles in the street are not yours, put your head down and go home. I think that's changing with this generation, slowly. Without seeking out problems, there will be no leadership. Leader is not someone who waits for problems to come, he will dig out the problems that others wouldn't dare to touch. So this mentality of dodging issues has been one thing. Another thing is because we have a certain cultural advantage over most other nations, each Indian thinks he's a genius. Yes You see on the street, just now I was coming, I just see anybody who can balance themselves on two wheels, they think they're champion riders. This is an Indian issue So very difficult to organize them. We have the strength of individual intellect and intelligence, but we don't have the strength of organization. Because if there are 5 Indians, they have 10 opinions about everything. So it's hard to organize Indian people, to produce something as an organization. Other nations are enjoying the strength of their organization. You will not find… you will find of course on the top, but down the line, if you see in developed nations, you don't find individual people thinking they're brilliant. And it's hard to find them too. But there is an organization, there is a system through which they function far more efficiently than we do. So this is one aspect of it, but today I'm supposed to speak about how to excel in everything that you do. First of all, how to even attempt something which is not your terrain, first of all, what you train for. Now you're an engineer, you're a chemical engineer, sir? Huh? Chemical engineer. So, but you do cricket. Like many of you may be trained for one thing, you're doing something else. Is that so? Many of you, probably. Many of you might have done multiple things in your life. When would somebody want to step into a terrain that is unknown, a terrain that you're not trained for, a terrain about which you have no knowledge? Well, little bit of adventure is what we're talking about. If there has to be an adventure, there has to be some danger. If there's no danger, there is no adventure. So who will want to step into adventure? Somebody who is very proud of their own capabilities in some way, that they want to step into an adventure. Somebody who is confident that even if you step into a totally new terrain, you will still stand on your feet. So how many things can you attempt, what you can do in your life, essentially depends on how well organized you're within yourself. There are many ways to look at it in this little time that we have. I will touch on a few things, I may leave some loopholes. If you catch me, just raise your hand and ask, I will fill the loophole, because when you try to do things in such a short span of time, there will be loopholes Suppose we sit here, the way we sit right now. This is a human mechanism. This human mechanism is the most sophisticated technology on the planet. Do you agree with me? Of all the gadgets that you use, this is the most sophisticated gadget. But have you read the user's manual? No. So the problem is just this, that for most human beings, they themselves are a big impediment in their life. They don't need any outside obstacles. Their own thought, their own emotion, their own body, their own ideas, opinions, philosophies are a serious impediment in their life. If you do this one thing, that you are never the problem, everybody must do this one thing. There are problems in the world, there are issues in the world, but we will have the temerity or courage to take up outside issues, confront outside issues, only when you are not an issue. If you yourself are an issue, for most human beings, they themselves are an issue. Their own thought, their own emotion, all the time they suffer. When you suffer your own thought and emotion, you don't need the world, you yourself will keep yourself busy. Yes? So this problem is one thing that we need to sort out if we really want to excel. Means not necessarily to do as well as somebody else. Please don't try to do as well as somebody else, that's not the point. The important thing is that you're able to function to the fullest of your capability, that's about it. It doesn't matter what you desire, that's how much will happen. What you're competent of, if it flows out unbridled, then you are excelling. Excellence is not about being better than somebody. Excellence is just about you're to your fullest, that you are not held back by your own impediments, that you are not tripping on your own feet. But that is the case with most human beings because their own thought, their own cerebral activity is freaking them out all the time. To get this level of cerebral activity, to get your brain to become this sophisticated, it took millions of years of evolutionary work. But today, I would say 75 to 80% of the human beings suffer their own cerebral activity. If you leave them alone, you will know how much they will suffer their own cerebral activity. Some time ago, an unfortunate but classic example of this happened about maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago. A television anchor in Hyderabad city jumped off fifth floor balcony or window, killed herself, and she left a note, "My brain is my enemy." What to do? You know, that note came on all the television channels, "My brain is my enemy." Well, this is the best thing you have, and if this turns into your enemy, nobody can save you, nobody. No force in the universe can save you. When your brain, your intelligence is turned against you, who can do anything about you? Nobody can do anything about you. And this is the case with most human beings. This is an extreme case of this lady, unfortunately, but this is true for everybody because their own thought and emotion is all the time creating all kinds of impediments within themselves. How do you sort this? One important thing is this. You know Charles Darwin? You heard of him? Hello? You're all engineers, so I'm asking you, that's all. You heard of Charles Darwin, the Englishman? He said something like this, I'm making it simplistic. A goat could have become a giraffe over 1,000,000 years. A pig could have become an elephant over 10,000,000 years, something like this. But a monkey became man rather quickly. Yes. The DNA difference between you and a chimpanzee is only 1.23%. 1.23% is not much of a difference, isn't it? Not much of a difference. I'm saying physiologically, the distance between you and a chimpanzee is only 1.23%. But in terms of intelligence and awareness, you're worlds apart from a chimpanzee, and this is your problem. You have an intelligence for you which you don't have a stable enough base. You have an intelligence for which your foundations are not good enough. There are civil engineers also or only chemical engineers? There are. So you have a building for which you don't have a stable enough foundations, means you're in trouble, isn't it? Just holding up this building is going to be circus. And most people are just doing psychological circus right through their lives because they're trying to hold up an intelligence with an inadequate base. The yogic system is about this. The first and the most basic aspect of yogic system is this, that first thing is you establish a stable base. Above all, balance. If there is no balance, your talents will turn against you. Right now, if I ask you a simple question, you must answer me, okay? Would you like, because I'm going to bless you, would you like your intellect to be sharp or blunt? Only 4 people chose. Sharp or blunt? Sharp. Because only then it's really useful. So essentially what you're saying is, intellect is a cutting instrument, it needs to be sharp. So if you have a sharp knife in your hand, it's very, very important that you must have a stable hand. Otherwise, this knife could be dangerous for yourself and anybody else who comes around you. This is what is happening with human beings. If we take away half your brain, all of you will be peaceful. Yes or no? If you take away the possibility, the problem is also gone, isn't it? So right now, what you're experiencing as a problem is actually a possibility unharnessed. If you do not harness the possibility, it becomes a great problem. If you did not have the possibility, no problem, you could look at all the other creatures, stomach full, life settled. Look at you, stomach empty, only one problem, stomach full, 100 problems. Yes or no? Because the problem with human being is, there are immense possibilities. The immensity of possibility is such that if you don't have a stable base, you will become the biggest problem. Do you need any help to be worried and messed up? Hello? No, you self-help, poking yourself all the time. So if this has to change, the most fundamental thing is to work towards creating a stable base on the level of your energy, on the level of your chemistry, on the level of your physical body. You create a stable base so that your intelligence doesn't turn around and poke you. This is very important. And the next dimension of what yoga ultimately means is, the word yoga means union. Union with what? It is essentially about consciously obliterating the boundaries of your individual nature. Say, as you sit here right now, this is my body, that's your body, distinctly there, isn't it? But one day somebody will bury us somewhere, both of us, I'm saying, hello? You are all mortal or immortal people, I'm just checking. Hello? Mortal? Only mortal people, because I usually deal with only them. Someday when both of us are buried, there is no such thing as your body and my body, it's just the same soil. Yes? But right now, this is my body, that is your body, 100%. This is my mind, that's your mind. Here and there we may overlap, but essentially this is my mind, that's your mind. But there is no such thing as my life and your life. This is just a living cosmos. You captured some, I captured some. This is like, as children, you might have blown soap bubbles, did you? Hello? Did they teach you in the engineering college how to get the biggest bubble? No. So you blew one bubble, your bubble was like this, my bubble was like that. I said, this is my bubble, big bubble is my bubble. Poop, it went. Then I don't say, this is my air. When I blew that bubble was really mine, yes or no? But once it blew, there is no such thing as my air and your air. Life is like this. There is no such thing as my life and your life. This is just a living cosmos. You can capture as much as you want. You can blow a small bubble or you can blow a big bubble. It amounts to a certain amount of engineering how to get a big bubble. Or essentially what I'm saying is, if you want to become a significant enough life, the most important thing is, you capture lot of life. Then if you sit here, It's not about our action, it's not about the society, it's not about the world in which we live. Just if you sit here simply, you become a significant life, absolutely significant life, simply because you captured a lot of life. Not a lot of body, not a lot of information, you captured a lot of life. Once you have upgraded your life like this, activity will happen effortlessly. Right now the problem with most people, because our education systems are largely, imported from elsewhere, we are always trying to upgrade our activity. If you upgrade your activity without upgrading yourself, you will destroy yourself. Today, successful people are carrying the most stressed out faces simply because they've upgraded their activity without upgrading themselves, they are suffering. This is like taking I don't want to name any brand, taking a small little, one of those small hatchback cars that you drive in Chennai to go to your office or something, on a F1 track. Well, if you try very hard, all the four wheels will go in four different directions. At least you must have a Ferrari to be on the track. Hello? You need a good machine. Without upgrading the machine, you upgrade the activity, everything will freak. Most successful people on the planet are freaking. They are not enjoying, they're just freaking. Though success is the sweetest thing in human life, what do you think? Hello? It is not about your profession, it's not about your business. Anything that you do, the purpose of action is success, isn't it? Hello? Even if you just hit a stupid white ball, you want it to go where you want it to go, that's the important thing, success. The question is not about how significant is the activity in the world. The thing is, everything that you do, you want it to be successful. Even if you roll tissue paper and throw it into the bin, you want it to go in. Yes or no? Hello? Because success is the basis of all activity that we perform. Nobody does anything with the intent of not being successful. They may be not successful, that's a different matter, but there is no intent of wanting to be not successful. The fundamental goal is success. But unfortunately, the most successful people on the planet are sending out a message, success is suffering. This is not a good message. The next generation may take this seriously and they may really think success is suffering. This has happened very significantly in certain societies. Post-World War II, those people who are referred to as the baby boomers, they became dead serious about their success. They became so straitjacketed. In the 60s, the youth started thinking, what's the point being like them? What's the point? At least we smoke pot and we are happy. We can push the society once again into those cycles if you don't show on your face every day that success is the sweetest thing. You're successful and that's why you're wonderful. Hello? Very important. This message is very important for the society and the next generation, that success is the sweetest thing. A generation which does not seek success is down the drain generation, it'll go down the drain. It will not do anything significant. So if this has to do something significant, we must understand success is very important. Success does not mean, again, being better than somebody. Success means whatever you're doing to your fullest and at your best. You will never be better than somebody because have you found another human being just like you on this planet? Did you ever meet one? Fortunately, there's only one. Just imagine in your home, there is one more person just like you. Could you live there? Hello? But in spite of this, most human beings are striving to have everybody just like them. Their problem with the other person is, you're not like me. But if this guy becomes exactly like me, I don't want to be here. So, the clutter of the mind which is confusing us about simple aspects of life, creates a situation within us that we are not on an unbridled flow of our capabilities. We are cluttered up in so many ways. One fundamental reason is our education systems. I know we're in an educational institution. Our education systems have given more significance to memory than intelligence and attention. I also went to school, okay? Only when it was absolutely necessary. I could not understand why everybody is gobbling up everything and then they go to the examination and they puke. The more they puke, the more they're considered very intelligent. I puked very little. So they thought I'm utterly stupid. But I had 1,000 other things going in my life. Education was a small part of my life. Even when I was in kindergarten, I had my own research going, all kinds of things not anything serious, I'm just telling you all kinds of things that everybody thought was idiotic. But I was new on the planet, I was exploring, I was interested in the ants and insects and just about anything. Because I invested in my attention, not in my memory bank. Right now, this is the biggest mess that we have done to human beings. We have made them understand your memory is more important than your intelligence and your attention. Memory means something that's already over. Some amount of knowledge about some things are necessary, but for life to happen in an unbridled way, you need a piercing level of attention. If you are not able to pay attention, you will just repeat the past over and over again. Standard things. This may be one reason why there is no entrepreneurship, because our education was designed by the British, oriented towards employment, not oriented towards you being the ruler of the place. We're still following that, unfortunately. I hope institutions like this will cause a revolution, because the time has come where technologically we've come to a place where my phone can do 10 PhDs in a day, that much memory it has. Hello? We are going to have gadgets which can have memory of all of you put together and more. Yes or no? So, memory will become less and less significant in the coming years because it can be all stored on a small chip, you don't have to carry it in your head. So, shifting from memory to intelligence means this happened. You're becoming very serious, this scares me. This is one important thing. You cannot pay attention to anything when you're dead serious. When you're dead serious, the same old things circulate in your mind. And being dead serious means, the expression is very good, you're dead serious. See, suppose someone came and told you, my grandmother is serious, what do you think? You will understand that she's on the way out. If you are so serious, what am I supposed to think? This is a serious problem. Why have you become serious? You have become serious because you have no context of your existence. In the sense, in this cosmos, nobody knows where it begins, where it ends, limitless space. In this planet Earth or this solar system itself is a tiny speck. Do you agree with me? Huh? In the cosmos, this solar system is a tiny speck. Tomorrow morning, if the entire solar system just evaporates, nobody's going to miss it anywhere, it's not even on the account. But we think it's the center of the universe, that's another matter. In this speck of a solar system, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, Chennai is a super microspeck. In that, you are a big man. This is a serious issue. That's why you become serious. Another thing is, sir, how old are you, sir? 64. You can tell me, it's okay. I'm not 64 years of age. Let's say 66, 67 years ago. Did you exist, sir? Did you exist? No, you did not exist. So, those who do not exist here, generally we say they are dead, all right? So, 66 years ago, 67 years ago, you were dead. How long were you dead, sir? How long were you dead? Huh? Infinite amount of time? You don't know? I'll give you another 45 years, sir. 110 years of age I'm giving you. After 45 years, you'll be again dead. How long will you be dead? Limitless amount of time. So for limitless amount of time, you will be dead. Only for a brief amount of time, you're alive. You must be a little more alive, that's all I'm saying. Hello? Because this is a very brief happening. You and me being alive here is a very brief happening. This is not the time to practice the last pose of your life. Believe me, you will get it naturally. You don't have to practice it all your life. Right now, when you walk on the street, in your family, and when you drive, whatever the hell you do, you must show everybody you're alive, exuberantly alive. It's important because this is a very brief happening and you will be dead for a very long time. Now, this happened. This happened in 1910. There was a man whose name was Topiwala. You know, people have their professions as attached as their second name. Topiwala, Daruwala, Dabbawala, whatever. So this is a Topiwala, that means he's a hat seller. He's going from village to village in the tropical heat selling hats. One afternoon, he felt tired. He went and sat under a tree, opened his meager lunch, ate it, and because he was tired, he dozed off. Don't do that. And after some time he woke up and he saw all his stock of hats were gone. He just looked around distraught. Where are my hats? Where are my hats? No sign of them anywhere. He looked everywhere possible, no sign of a single hat. When nothing that you do work, what do? He also looked up. There he saw a bunch of monkeys sitting there, all with hats on. He screamed at them. They screamed back at him. He abused them. They abused in their own language. He picked up whatever he could and threw it at them. They picked up whatever they could and threw it back at him. Not knowing what to do, out of sheer frustration, he took his own hat and flung it on the ground. All of them took their hats and flung it on the ground. He picked up these hats and went about his business. 2020, September 23rd, another man, his name also Topiwala, going about selling hats. In the afternoon, he sat under a tree, opened his elaborate lunch, 21st century, you know. Everybody is eating more than they can digest. For the first time in the history of humanity. He ate his sumptuous meal and promptly fell asleep. After some time, he opened his eyes, his stock of hats were gone. He didn't look here and there, he looked straight up. There the monkeys were sitting with hats on. He got up and jived. They all jived. He made funny faces. They made funnier faces. He had all the fun he wanted to have. When he was done, he took his hat and flung it on the ground. A baboon of a monkey quickly came down, picked up the hat, walked up to him, gave him a tight slap in the face and said, "You idiot, you think only you had a grandfather?" accumulated knowledge will serve you only that far. Beyond that, you need attention. Human attention can open up just about any door in the universe. The question is only, is your attention keen enough? Can you hold it? When Andrew Carnegie started making enormous amount of money in United States, in those times, nobody had seen, these were not the times of Zuckerbergers and stuff, nobody had seen anybody making that kind of money in a short span of time. So the United States government started suspecting that he must be into some kind of crime. So they started investigating, a few congressmen who were in charge of the investigating, asking many questions to him, and then they found nothing wrong. Then they asked, how do you do this? He said, I can focus on something absolutely for 5 minutes at a stretch. Can any of you do that? They thought this is a joke, they said, of course we can do. He set up an experiment. Not one could hold their attention for more than 5 to 10 seconds. He said, you should not be running United States. This is missing. Right now, people are carrying their attention deficiency like a qualification. It's a qualification. No, my attention span is very small. This is a qualification? You're a disaster. What, Aswin? You can knock down any wicket without attention? You can have immense amount of knowledge about every damn thing that is there about cricket. You're not going to do anything. You need penetrating attention if you want to do something significant. Well, what is the level of attention that you have will determine how far this goes. One aspect is you have gathered immense amount of life. This happens in many ways, either just because of your natural attitudes or certain things that you do, or in yoga there are systemic practices as to how to enhance the life that you are. One thing is to make this into a significant life, another thing is to develop an attention span which is so penetrating, nothing will go unrevealed to it. That level of attention. Well, so many things can be done. Can somebody do everything? We don't know what is everything, so how can we do it? Does somebody know what is everything? Hello? Nobody knows what is everything. But for the tiny little span of time that we have on this planet, even if you live to be 100, it is still, for the potential that the human being carries, it's too little. It's too little, 100 years. So in this little time that you got, here, if you're feeling bored, this is not because there's something wrong with life, this is simply because you're not a life. You're just a psychological drama. You're living in your mind. Your own thought and emotion is boring the hell out of you. I can imagine the plight of others around you. Hello? If you are bored with your own drama, how do others enjoy your drama? It must be terrible. If you pay attention to something, if you pay attention to a leaf, I'm telling you, you spend 100 years of your life just paying attention to one leaf on this planet, still you will not be able to know the entirety of what it is. We still don't know what a bloody atom is, isn't it? Hello? We know how to break it, we know how to fuse it, we know how to use it, but do we know what it is? We still don't know what it is. So where is the question of being bored? If anybody says, I'm bored, you're the worst kind of insult to the source of creation, because such a phenomena that you can't figure out an invisible atom, what it is. So microscopic, you can't figure one thing out. Forget about the universe. You are bored because you are living in your own mind, you're not living in this world. If you live in this world, it becomes very simple to do many things wonderfully. Most people are just living in their own heads and they did not keep that place very well. If you have any question. Am I too abrasive?
So, thank you, Sadhguru. This Mukesh Ajmer here somewhere. You wanted a question? So, keep it to a question, not a statement.
Namaste. I have a question regarding the world problems that all of us are facing. There is a lot of, a series of things that are happening. Global warming, fires, floods, a lot of cities and coastal cities and lands are going to be sinking. There's no water going to be available. A series of issues are that there's no religious, social, economic tolerance amongst nations, people. What we call engineers as entropy of the world is increasing by the day. So, what is your solution that most number of people across various segments of societies can try to accept that within their own minds, within their own little worlds, which will be acceptable to them, as well as it'll try to solve as much as we can globally.
Yes.
Thank you.
See, there are no… Is the audio okay? Hello? Is the audio okay? There are no many problems in the world. There is only one problem, that's called a human being. If you and me don't exist on this planet, is there any problem? No. So there is only one problem called human being. We are a recent landing on this planet compared to other species. Even compared to cockroaches, we are juniors out here. But we have caused such an immense damage to everything around us. If some other species had caused this kind of damage to the planet, let us say 1 trillion locusts landed on this planet and started destroying this planet, immediately, you're a chemical engineer, is it? Entropy. So, you would have come out with a chemical solution how to exterminate these locusts, yes or no? Definitely. We would definitely see how to gas them, how to poison them, how to exterminate the entire species. But unfortunately, right now, we are those locusts. So we cannot exterminate this. But we called you a human being, not a human creature. Hello? A human being means you're supposed to know how to be. How far from truth is that right now? If you knew how to be, where is the problem? Right now, with the phenomenal capabilities that we have come, if we do not know how to be, we will get into a compulsive mode of action. Right now, we're in a compulsive mode of action and we see the one planet is not enough. People are asking, where is the planet B, so that we can go and destroy that. Suppose we give you another planet somewhere close by or wherever, it's just a question of another 300 years before we destroy that, isn't it? So what's the point of planet B? It doesn't make any sense. Only solution is this, that human beings, I'm stressing on the beings, the human beings must become a conscious existence. Right now they're in a compulsive state of existence. Their aspirations, to fulfill their aspirations, they will take out the roots of the planet. So this has to change. If we don't do that now, well, the planet will do it in its own way. Nature will do it in its own way. See, from one simple thing is, this may be very abrasive for a lot of you, but I must say it because you asked the question, not me. In early 20th century, we were just 1.6 billion people. Today, we are reaching towards 8 billion people. They are saying by 2050, we will be nearly 10 billion people. So obviously, we are in a compulsive state of reproduction, not in a conscious state of reproduction. Hello? Yes or no? Now people will try to explain, no, that is because of life expectancy has gone up. Yes, that is wonderful. People are living to their full span of life. Wonderful. In India, in 1947, our life expectancy was 28 years. 28. That means almost all of us, except the young lady, all of us should be dead. Yes, 28 years. Today it's reached towards 72 or 73, somewhere in that range. It's a fantastic achievement for the nation. But this is not some philosophy. I'm talking about simple arithmetic. If we postpone our death, should we not postpone our birth also? Hello? Hello? Is this some great philosophy I'm asking? No, simple arithmetic. This is an arithmetic issue. And as our competence to use things increase, where what 10,000 men could do, today one man can do with a machine, when that kind of capability has come, all the more important that our actions become super conscious as to what we do. So that consciousness is not there right now. Who should do it, where it should start, all this is going on. Well, we have tried to do a little bit here and there. There's still… people think these are mega events. When I went to… recently, I was at the United Nations, UNCCD and UNCCC. They think what we have done is phenomenal. When we said we have like a a sample work where we have converted nearly 70,000 farmers to agroforestry, they saying this is not a sample, this is a huge project. Whole nations won't do this. But it's just a drop in the ocean, just a drop in the ocean. This is not a solution, this is still just a drop in the ocean. It can be an inspiration but not yet a solution, really. Small solutions may happen, but it's not really a solution for the problem that you're describing, all right? So where is the solution? Well, right now I'm in the process of putting together a certain number of… we are looking at 100 to 120 celebrities on the planet who have more than 10 to 20 million following, to form a group called Conscious Planet. Because the most important thing that is necessary is, we need conscious humanity, otherwise there's no solution. And the project is such, there is many things, let me not go into the detail of it. The important aspect of it is, right now there are about 5.26 billion who have franchise on the planet. That means they can vote and elect the governments that they want in their nations. So we are looking at the planet as different latitudinal sections of equatorial region, tropical region, subtropical region, temperate and Arctic and Antarctic regions. So the nations which come in this band, of this tropical band, what are the 5 simple things that must happen? Because right now, any ecological stuff that is put out is all PhD material. Common people on the street just don't understand what you're talking about. It looks like it's anti their life. That's how it looks. Only a thin segment of not even 1% of the population in the world understands something about ecological disaster. The rest of the people don't know what you're talking about. So 5 things that must happen in their country, 2 to 3 things that must never happen in their country. We want to… 5 things that must happen in our nation. These are the 2-3 things that must never happen in our country. Every man who walks on the street, man, woman, child, understands that these 3 things must not happen, these 5 things must happen in our country. If every citizen understands this, naturally it'll become an election issue. We want ecological issues to become election issues on the planet. So, we are looking at sometime by mid-2021, we are looking at launching this and taking this to a place where 3 billion people on the planet will know that these simple things must happen. Wherever they are, whichever part of the world they are, they know for their segment of the planet what should happen, what should not happen. Common people should know. Only then it becomes an election issue. Only when it becomes an election issue, it'll be a governmental agenda. Right now, it is not. It is not at an agenda. Without getting administrations on the planet involved, there is no solution. Today, unfortunately, environmental issues are a kind of a fashion for a small group of people who will oppose everything that you do. They will oppose everything that you do, they're against every industry, they're against every business, though they also are using the same products, all right? Simply talking about it, no, this will not work because it's just a fashion, this is not going to go anywhere. Protest against this, protest against that, put one court case here, court case there. This is not the solution. It must become the agenda of every government on this planet. Every democratic government on the planet must think, when they write their party manifestos, ecological issues must be number one agenda. If this has to happen, at least 3 billion people, that means a winning segment, at least 50 to 60% of the electorate clearly knows these things must happen in our country. Please be a part of it. Let's make it happen. Please wait for the microphone.
Namaskaram, Sadhguru. In the context in which we just spoke, where we said that all of us collectively are responsible for the state of the planet, how do you think that the young people today should reconcile their purpose in life, with what they want to do, their individual goals and then the larger contribution that they want to make to humanity? Because they're under a lot of pressures about choosing careers and all of that, and very few of us actually end up understanding what we want to do in life and where our passion and our purpose meet.
So, you're sitting among a generation of people, a lot of them, who could not choose their careers. They got a qualification, the first job they got, they hopped onto it. There was really no choice. What? Yes or no? So right now you're suffering a choice, which is a good thing. They had no such possibilities. First job that you got, they just jumped onto it because they were in a survival mode. Their parents told them, just get a stable job, don't bother about anything else. Huh? Government job. You become an engineer, get the government job, that's it. Doesn't matter, the government did not allow you to do any engineering, it doesn't matter, you just got a job. That is the important thing. All you did was sign files, you did not do any engineering, but it doesn't matter because you got a job. Because at that time, that's where the country was, survival. If you don't get a job, you're out on the street, there's nothing else for you in between. There was no any other net. If you don't have a stable job, you're straight on the street. Today, things have changed because one generation has strived and worked, so there are possibilities today for the youth. So today that you have the struggles of choice, you must choose only one thing. You must look for a problem in the country and see how you can engineer a solution. Make this happen for yourself, that you are always a solution. Wherever you go, you are a solution always, never a problem. This one thing if you do, depending upon your talent, depending upon your intelligence, capability, and of course the times in which we exist, what we do is largely determined by the times in which we exist, isn't it? If we were here 1,000 years ago, maybe chemical engineering would have meant nothing. Yes or no? It is relevant because of the times in which we exist. So never discount that. This is a consequence of times that you have these many opportunities. But still we have many problems. In a developing country, there should be no problem about you finding something to solve. There are too many things to be solved, isn't it? Hello? There are too many things unsolved, there are too many things undone yet. So that means you have a great opportunity. See how you can be a solution for something, whatever that is.
Guruji, I have a question. In Mahabharata, when…
You're going that far? Where in Bharata?
In Mahabharata, when Karna was there, he was a man who really thought was not very successful within himself. He thought to himself, or for most of the time, he thought he was not very successful, or he was not a person of great excellence. When he had Krishna in close proximity, he was not able to feel success and excellence. How could I, in today's generation, when Krishna is very far, how do you expect us, this generation of people, to understand and feel success? Very simpler. I also have another question.
Oh, wait.
Guys, we got other guys waiting.
Please, that's good.
The second question is…
No, first question. I'm a simple guy, let me handle one question. Well, this is okay. Hello? Is it audible? Little bit. Can you pitch it up? I'm screaming almost. Hello? Little. Hello? It's better. Whether Karna blames Krishna for his failure or Arjuna praises Krishna for his success, it doesn't matter. You must listen to what Krishna said. Krishna clearly said, doesn't matter even if I'm standing next to you, unless you do what you're doing well, you're not getting anywhere. That's the same thing even today, son. Whatever the hell you're doing, just do it well. You think Krishna will come and do it for you? Even then he did not do it.
So, the question from here, sir, backside. So, being a spiritual leader, we find you're abreast of all the events happening in today's world. You can talk on any subject.
I've been living on this planet for 6 decades.
No. So, no, we all are, but the question to you is, how do you find time to do that? And how many hours you sleep and how many hours you expect these engineers to sleep? I mean, doing everything else, yeah.
Engineers should not sleep much because there's a lot of engineering to do. Well, you want me to go into this? Hello? Is it relevant for you? Hello? No. No, I'm not talking about the audio, I'm saying, is this relevant for you that me talking about how many hours I sleep and So, for almost 25 years, on an average, I slept only 2.5 to 3 years, 3 hours a day. These days getting much lazier, sleeping anywhere between 3 to 4.5 hours a day, just getting a little lazy. If I don't travel, that is if I eat the kind of food that I want, once again I'll go back to 2.5, 3 hours. When I'm traveling, there's not enough control on the food. So one thing you can try tonight is, the way you eat, if you just change that, you will see at least 1.5, 2 hours early in the morning you will get up. Just if you change the diet. If you bring in some yogic practice where you invigorate the system from within, if you energize yourself from within, you will see sleep quota will come down much more. Sleep is not necessary for this body, restfulness is needed. If you sit here in a restful manner, what engineer, you're mechanical? Are you a mechanical engineer? Huh? You're also chemical. So, okay. So if you have any machine here or even any chemical activity here, depending on what RPM you're running at, it will decide how much maintenance the machine will need, yes or no? Yes. Huh? When we want… See, right now, they're going away, but the diesel ships which are there, they have a long stroke, low RPM machine, jock, 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 they're going. Because they want to drive them for hundreds and thousands of miles before it comes to maintenance. Because they're in the open oceans, there's no time to stop and maintain. But right now you have this little 100cc motorcycle, or there are now racing motorcycles which are doing 18,000 RPM, okay? 18,000 revolutions per minute, it's crazy. Well, that will need a lot of maintenance simply because of the number of revolutions per minute. So similarly, when you sit here, at what RPM is your chemistry going? If it's done boo like this, it'll wear itself out and it wants to rest for maintenance. Essentially, sleep means downtime for recovery, isn't it? So if you are sleeping as doctors are prescribing, unfortunately, you must sleep minimum of 8 hours if you don't want to have heart attack tomorrow morning. Generally in America, this is like a standard, 8 hours you must sleep. If you're not sleeping 8 hours, mild tranquilizer you must take or have a glass of wine and sleep. 8 hours you're sleeping. Another 2 hours goes in eating, toilet, bath, this, that. Another 2 hours goes in simple things because all of you shave, you take another half an hour extra. So 12 hours going in maintenance. Suppose you had a vehicle where in 1 month you need 15 days of maintenance. Is it worth having this machine? I'm asking. Such heavy maintenance means it's a nuisance, isn't it? You need to look at this. There is a whole technology, how to reduce the downtime for this, because after all, as I already told him, you are going to be dead for a long time. You're alive for a very little time. This is not sleeping time, this is living time. Hello? This is time to live because it's very little time. So you must reduce your downtime, maintenance time for this. Otherwise, it's just going away without you being conscious about it. Just slipping out of your hands without you knowing about it. Your life is just slipping out of your hands, isn't it, as you sit here? Since I came and sat here, you're an hour and a half closer to your grave, I want you to know that. Yes, this is not because of me, it's happening all the time. If you value your life, you will want to be awake, not asleep, isn't it? But right now, sleep means on one level, you've lost all your faculties, isn't it? Hello? Right now you have your faculties intact, that's why you are who you are. You are an engineer only when you're awake, when you sleep. You're not an engineer. You're not an engineer, isn't it? So, your faculties are on only when you're awake. When you sleep, they are gone. As if this is not enough. Because most people are most wonderful only when they sleep. When they're awake, their faculties turn against themselves and make them nasty. So, you will see, if lot of people are good, they're sweet and nice only when they lose their faculties. This is why you need… I'm talking about the lowest dose, you need a glass of wine to feel good. See, I'm always drunk, I'm always… Because you're a chemical engineer, I'm telling you, this is the greatest chemical factory on the planet right now. To give you some perspective, in 1 second in your body, 37 followed by 21 zeros, whatever that number is, 11 zeros make a trillion. 37 followed by 21 zeros, that many chemical reactions are happening in your body right now. If you understand that every experience that you have of pain and pleasure, joy and misery, agony and ecstasy, anything and everything has a chemical basis to it, yes or no? If you are a great manager of this factory, you would create absolutely fantastic, blissed out chemistry for yourself. If you're a lousy manager, then you have to do imports, which people are doing. So if you just manage this chemistry little better, your sleep quota will come down, maintenance will come down, the volume of food that you eat will come down, everything will come down. This means, see, today automobiles are trying to function with less and less fuel, isn't it? They put a limit on the F1 races, how many liters of gas can you use? Because the idea is a more efficient machine means less fuel consumption and less maintenance, isn't it? Should you not do that to yourself? Because this is the best machine that is there on the planet. Let's make it happen. Thank you.
Sure. I have a technical question, please. I have a technical question. Can I ask you? No. Anyway, some input, please. Because now they say Industry 4 is happening and machines have artificial intelligence. So, and taming of technology has become a big problem nowadays for human beings who run the machines. Now, the machines which have artificial intelligence, does it have artificial conscience also?
Can't hear. Sadhguru, if you don't want to answer, we can skip it.
No, I can. It's okay. I never skipped a question till now. I don't know what you mean by conscience. Conscience is a socially developed thing. Well, your conscience is such, if you do certain things in this society, you will feel guilty. The same things in some other society, they will do it without any problem. And what they feel guilty about, you do it without any problem. So this is conscience. If you're talking about conscience, even your conscience is artificial, it's fed into you by your society. If you're talking about consciousness, that's a different matter, that's never going to be the domain of machines ever.
So, before Sadhguru steps down, may I ask Vidya, President of Alumni Association, to come up on stage? Sadhguru, we do have a very small memento to show our love. Vidya, will you kindly hand this over to him?
You're not giving me an engineering degree, yes? Okay.
Thank you. And is Anant here? Anant will propose a formal vote of thanks.
The time for great elevating program has to come to an end. It is my duty on behalf of the AC Tech Alumni Association to give the vote of thanks. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation for Sadhguru for his erudite explanation of success in his talk. He has called upon us to be at the fullest to our capacity, be stable, constantly upgrade ourselves, be live and be attentive 100% in whatever we do, and these words will be marked in our memories forever as a practical tip in living a happy and successful life. We are all inspired by your great words, Sadhguru, and we look forward to more opportunities of hearing your wisdom. Further, I would like to express our sincere thanks to the Platinum Jubilee Celebrations Committee Chairman, Shri N. Srinivasan, and other members of the committee, the Dean of AC Tech, for supporting us in bringing together such an enlightening evening. Many thanks to all the sponsors, India Cements, Murugappa Group of Companies, Ramco Cements, Chemplast Samar, Bamalari, IMA PG, Picanol, Venkat Narayan, Active Ingredients Limited. I also wish to thank the event organization for the arrangements and the logistic support, the hotel management and the staff for their hospitality setup and apt ambience. I also would like to thank the media. I extend my thanks to all guests and all alumni and every member of the Alumni Association for their encouragement and participation at the organization of the event. Thank you.